Here's one of my favorite collages. Let's look at it for a moment. What do you notice about it? When I look at it, I notice there's a lot of different shapes that are layered together. There are some organic shapes and there are some geometric shapes. There are also some large shapes, small shapes, long shapes. There are some shapes that are repeated, and there are some shapes that are unique. To make collage, you need 3 specific materials. You need glue, paper, and scissors. Today, we're going to do something really exciting. Today, we are going to work with different kinds of paper. Artists have many choices in their work. One of them is being able to overlap. You may overlap your pieces. You may choose to use the negative spaces from your art pieces. For example, you might have cut this piece out, but in reality, you want to also use this shape. This is called a negative space, and sometimes the negative space is just as exciting as the positive space. First, let's go over some of the scissors skills. When you are using your scissors, your thumb should be facing up to the ceiling, and your thumb should be in the smaller of the 2 holes. Every scissor has 2 size holes, and the smaller one is where your thumb goes. Now we're going to watch a short video on how to make spirals using different kinds of shapes. First, I'm going to make a spiral using yellow. A little bit off center here, but you can tell that I'm cutting a spiral. I made sure that the sides were nice and thick, because when you glue it down, it's just a circle. You need to make it thinner. So I cut the thickness of the spiral down to half. In essence, I'm making 2 spirals. And there, when you glue it down, you have space in between. You've seen that it's a spiral. Now I'm going to make a rectangular spiral using a rectangle shape. Again, the sides are thick so that I can easily cut them in half. Notice when you glue it down, it's just a boring old rectangle. So you need to thin it down by cutting that rectangle spiral in half. Almost done. I almost cut it over the edge. And now I have 2 spirals that are super interesting, and I'm ready for my collage. Now I'm using an organic shape. Heart is an organic shape. I'm going to make a spiral out of that shape. And the sides are thick enough so that I can thin it down by cutting that strip in half. I didn't do this. The heart, when glued down, will just look like a heart, not a spiral. This was a little challenging. There, I have 2 spirals, ready to go.
So let's do a hunt for paper. You might not think you have a lot of different kinds of paper at home, but you have plenty. You might have papers from a magazine. You might have tissue paper from an old gift. You might have decorative paper, old letters, receipts, circulars, checklists, sticky paper, construction paper, catalog paper, old business cards, toilet paper, wrapping paper, or an old instruction booklet, and newspaper.
Ahora estamos listos para hacer un collage. Vamos.
The first thing we do is we gather what we would like to put into our collage. I always start with a magazine because they have interesting words and images. I also cut interesting shapes. I like to fold paper and then cut shapes. That way I get multiple shapes. Decorative paper is also fun because you can cut out interesting designs or images. I like this old receipt for the writing. I only cut a little piece of it so that I can keep the writing part. I have an old letter with a cool stamp on it. You see, I'm collecting all the things that I want to use in my collage. I looked through this magazine and look, I found a home. To cut pictures from magazines, it's always best to cut the page out first and then cut the image. There, it's done. Then I look around my paper pile and I find that I have this interesting list. This is my kids' job list for chores. I like the lines on there. I fold the paper and cut multiple shapes of the same type. Then I use this orange to cut lots of little strips. It's important to have a variety of shapes and colors. I love wrapping paper. Wrapping paper allows me to cut out interesting designs that are very colorful. Now I'm ready to start my collage. I pick a background color. Your background color could be white or any other color. I chose orange. I start thinking about my composition. Composition is just your choices of where things go on the paper. Everyone's compositions are different depending on what your choices are. I'm going to start with my house, and then I decided that the circle I cut out would be a nice moon, and then I added a tree. And then I really wanted to put this receipt in here, so I moved the house up to make a ground. So I added the receipt as part of the ground. Sometimes you might start a piece of artwork and not really know what to do with the pieces, but then the pieces kind of tell you what they want to be. These orange rectangles wanted to be sun rays. I needed to layer the yellow just to make it really strong. I got some sticky paper and I wanted to make something that looked like rain. I spread some glue and then I spread the glue around with my fingertips and then I made it rain. This is a cool strategy to make rain, or if you want to make confetti or sprinkles. I wanted to use the yellow from this business card. I cut out the yellow and then I realized there was a really cool color on the other side too. So I cut that out. And then it reminded me how when the sun looks when the sun is going down and it's orange and yellow everywhere.
Hey guys, I hope you had fun today. I had a lot of fun.
I hope my video inspired you to want to make a collage of your own. Remember, you don't need special kind of paper. In fact, there are papers all over the house. You just have to go for a hunt and looking for them. Keep them in a box and then find your scissors and your glue and get started. I can't wait to see what you make.
I hope you make an exciting collage and don't forget to share it with me. See you guys.
And don't forget, subscribe to my channel and like this video.